Rip is a film built on suspicion, tension, and the slow unraveling of morality. What begins as a simple question, which officer can be trusted, quickly fractures into something much deeper, a study of loyalty, corruption, and what it truly means to be one of the good guys. Beneath every accusation, every harsh exchange, and every broken bond, the film hides layers of emotional storytelling that reveal more about its characters than any gunfight or twist ever could. At the center of this story is the question that haunts every officer involved in the raid: who is the traitor? The film presents a maze of red herrings, interpersonal grudges, and conflicting motivations. But hidden beneath the surface is a detail that redefines everything. A detail rooted not in action, but in the morality of one man. And it all begins with the reveal of the traitor. The traitor. Why the film lets you suspect the wrong man. For most of the movie, the clues seem to point toward Dumars. He's evasive. He alters the reported amount of cash found. He acts like he's hiding something. It almost feels intentional, as if the film wants the audience to assume Matt Damon's character is corrupt yet again, typecast into another morally ambiguous role. But the truth is far more calculated. Dumars isn't panicking. He isn't lying out of guilt. He's laying traps. Each conflicting number he gives to different officers is bait.
And
he told me it was 300K. I told Newman it was 250.
A way of drawing Byrne's suspicion directly onto him, keeping eyes away from the rest of the team. Dumars knows Byrne well enough to understand he'll lock onto any inconsistency like a bloodhound, and Dumars weaponizes that connection. And when the real traitor finally emerges, the reveal hits with brutal clarity. Mo was the one told the same amount of cash that later appears in the threatening call. Mo was the one who called in backup. Mo was the one who greenlit the attack on his own team. Nix acted as the muscle, but Mo was the architect. And while Mo's arrest offers closure, the emotional damage inflicted on the group is far from resolved. The real question, why did he do it? The film makes it clear that Mo and Nix are different from the others. They're newer, less rooted, less tied to one another emotionally. Whereas Dumars and Byrne are defined by loyalty, trauma, and years of shared experience, Mo sees opportunity where they see responsibility. And Nix follows him, not out of brotherhood, but out of greed. But the brilliance of The Rip is that it doesn't stop at the reveal. The movie shifts gears, placing focus on someone else entirely: Desi. Desi, the unlikely heart of the film. Desi begins as a quiet presence in the background, the homeowner of the cartel stash house, easily dismissed as another pawn. But the story gradually reveals her to be one of the most pivotal characters in the entire narrative. She is the reason the team even knows about the stash house. She is the one who contacted Jackie, the team's fallen leader. And through this, she becomes the inciting force behind Mo and Nix's decision to murder Jackie. But what makes Desi so compelling is not her connection to the crime. It's her innocence. The cartel used her home. She never asked for any of this. She's not a player, she's a survivor. Throughout the film, she repeatedly helps Dumars and Byrne not because she wants a payout, but because she genuinely fears the violence spiraling around her. Her courage eventually earns her millions in protection money and likely FBI relocation. And that outcome, Desi surviving, safe and compensated, becomes a quiet counterpoint to the moral corruption around her. Where Mo and Nix fall to greed, Desi endures through honesty and fear. The cartel, the plot twist, no one saw coming. One of the biggest surprises in The Rip is that the cartel is not the antagonist. They never attack the officers. They aren't hunting for their lost fortune. They aren't trying to avenge the stash house. In fact, when the cartel leader calls Dumars and Byrne, he reveals the truth. The cartel has already decided the cash isn't worth reclaiming. Not the bodies. Not the investigation. Not the heat. They've cut their losses. This flips the narrative on its head. The true danger never came from the criminals outside the law, but from those sworn to uphold it. It's a brutal commentary on institutional rot, disguised beneath the surface of an action thriller. The meaning of the tattoos, the emotional core of the story. The entire emotional weight of The Rip can be summed up in two tattoos on Dumars' hands. Left hand, A.W.T.G.G. Right hand, W.A.A.W.B. The meaning, are we the good guys? And the response, we are and always will be. These aren't slogans. They aren't philosophy. They're the final exchange between a father and his dying son. Dumars carries those letters not as a reminder of morality, but as a promise. A promise that everything he does, every decision he makes, must reflect the answer he gave to the child he lost. It reframes everything we've seen. His traps weren't deceit, they were sacrifice. His chaos wasn't selfish, it was self-defense on behalf of his team. His anger wasn't ego, it was grief, tightly contained and forcibly redirected into justice. Where Byrne is driven by rage at Jackie's murder, Dumars is driven by a father's vow. One acts out of pain, the other acts out of duty, and together they form the moral backbone of the story. The final scene, the true ending explained. After the chaos, betrayal, and moral unraveling, the film ends not on violence, but on calm. Dumars and Byrne sit together on the beach. Two men who have hurt each other, saved each other, and survived together. They watch a little girl run along the sand at sunrise. Her mother calls out to her, "Jackie." It's not subtle. It's symbolic. That name, Jackie, is the ghost that both men carried through the entire film. For Byrne, she was a lover lost to betrayal. For Dumars, she was a leader, a partner, and a figure he trusted. Hearing that name again isn't an accident. It's a moment of emotional release, a reminder that life continues, that innocence still exists, that the world still has good in it, even after everything they've endured. For a film obsessed with the question, are we the good guys? The final scene gives the answer. They are not perfect. They are not pure. But they are trying. And sometimes effort, born from grief, loyalty, or redemption, is enough. What the film is really about, the theory, beneath all its twists, The Rip is a morality test disguised as a mystery. It challenges every character with the same question. What will you do when no one is watching? Mo chooses greed. Nix chooses survival. The cartel chooses indifference. Desi chooses trust. Byrne chooses vengeance. And Dumars chooses a promise. One carved permanently into his skin. The true traitor twist isn't that Mo betrayed the team. It's that the world constantly betrays the people trying to do the right thing. Dumars' son died. Byrne lost Jackie. Desi lost her home. And yet the three of them, in their own imperfect, painful ways, choose morality. Not because it is easy, not because it is rewarding, but because something inside them refuses to choose otherwise. That is the real meaning of The Rip. Not the money, not the betrayal, not the violence. The film is asking a single, devastating question. In a world built on corruption, can anyone truly remain the good guy? And the ending, quiet, beautiful, tragic, whispers the answer, yes. But only if they fight for it.